All right. Look, I've got a little here, a job for you guys. It's a report card that you're going to deliver on some of the players who have been signed and have changed clubs. Let's just see how they've rated over the first, 6 weeks of the competition. Let me start with you, Ryan Girdler. I've got a couple for you.
Okay.
Nick Cotric, how's he gone?
Well, I think Nick's still maybe in shock. He came to play. I mean, look, if you're gonna play for a club that's really struggling and you're a centre winger, you're better off playing on the wing because at least you're going to get some opportunities, through returning kicks and things like that, and chasing down and attacking kicks and scoring some tries that way. Look, I think he's had some really nice moments in games, but I think in the centre sometimes they struggle to get the ball to him in the right sort of field position and create opportunities for him. I'm not sold on him being a centre. I'm not writing him off as a centre. I think there's some certain parts of his game that might work. He could work on to make him a better centre. I think it's definitely he needs to develop a better pass. Playing in the centres these days, as it always has been, is about trying to create opportunities 2-on-1. Get the winger in and pass the ball on your outside to create for other men. I see him as a great ball runner, but I think so far it's been a tough start to his Bulldogs career.
All right.
Nick.
Okay.
What's
hang
your
on.
rating? What's your mark for him, teacher?
I'll give him a. Oh, that's tough. I'll give him a. Well, he's had a tough club. I'll give him a C.
C. Okay.
Well, yeah.
Okay. C for Nick Cotric.
Yep.
All right.
C for Cotric.
I'll come back to you. MG, who do you want to start with? Look, let's go with the man who, obviously, as a Dragons fan, sadly saw him leave and head to Newcastle. Tyson Frizell.
Oh, he's been awesome for his new club, and I last year I thought he just wasn't the Tyson that we've come to grow and love. He's always been a rampaging back rower who makes his presence felt in a contest, and last year I just didn't feel that was the year that he made his mark. I don't know whether people say that when you sign a long-term contract with another club that you're professional enough to not worry about it, but you've got to have some eye on the other prize. I would imagine. And that's how he played last year to me, anyway. But this year he's gone to the Knights, and he's back to the old Tyson. He'll be picked in Origin in the back row, and I'd give him an A-.
A-. All right, Mary. What about a man you've also coached? One of the greats, obviously, Benji Marshall.
Yeah. Look, he brings great experience to that side. You've seen last week the effect it had immediately with the result they got.
Yep.
Nothing changed. So when you've got someone like Benji that can come onto the field with an injury, or he's in your squad to replace a player that's suspended or injured, you're very comfortable as a coach. And this guy seems to be like red wine. He keeps getting better. He's not going to have to play too much footy.
Yep.
So that's going to even lengthen what he does in important times, and really highlight the what he can bring to that squad going forward this year.
All right.
So how do I rate him?
Yeah, how do you rate him?
For his one game? A.
A.
One full game.
Tino Fasul Malaawi, what are your thoughts on him, Girds?
I love Tino.
Yeah, I know you do.
I love Tino. Look,
Is he the buy of the year, Girds?
Look, I think if Harry Grant's not considered a buy because he's gone back to his club, I think Tino's going to be at some point, the buy of the year for the Titans. What he brings to that organisation. I think he's so far this year, he averages 160 metres, about 35 tackles, plays big minutes. Started out, plays in the middle, but now that they've got Peachy there, push him up to the front row, doesn't bother him. Both sides of the ball, he's super aggressive, always in the contest, holds people accountable. People don't want to play against him. He's got that personality where he turns a place into a fortress, and obviously that combination with Fifita going there, both for different roles, but I think if you ask any of the Titans players who they like playing with on a weekly basis, it'll be Tino A+.
A+, I love it. All right, well, a man who's left that environment and seems comfortable in the Cardinal and Myrtle of South Sydney, MG, is Geyer.
Yeah, well, he's been fantastic as well. I'd love to be a teacher. I'll just give out A's all day. Look, he's been, probably because he's been off the bench, he's been making it. When you want a bench player, and Mary can probably back this up as a coach of a first-grade team, you just want some impact. You want your bench players to go on and straight away do something that changes the fabric of the game. And Geyer seems to have been doing that with Wayne Bennett having him off the bench for the first 5 games of this competition. And every time Geyer comes on, he's on. because he does something that catches your eye. So, he's been great. I'll give him a B+.
B+. All right. Now, look, a little bit of injury, obviously, in the background for Jack Byrd. In fact, major stuff, which made him, when he was signed by the Dragons, people a little bit nervous. But, Mary, he's really brought something.
Oh, look, Jack's ability to bring people along with his ability to compete.
Yep.
His attitude, his self-belief. He's now injury-free. We haven't seen him put that many games together consistently, even though he's had a suspension for a week. Look, he's the difference on that back line. He's really, if you sit down and have a coffee with Jack and put 3 other people as the best players, he'd think he's better than the 3 of them, which is a great thing to have. It's a great thing to have because he'll go out there and he'll try and make it happen. So for the Dragons with Jack Byrd, it's a big tick for me, and it's a B+, and it's progressing, so he's going to get better.
Yeah, they thought there was talk of that he might be, playing the back row or number 13, but I think centre is where he should be.
Well, he played right back row all his juniors.
Yeah.
Touched a little bit of fullback there because they had Ewan Aiken at right centre through the 20s. But Jack's one of them guys. You've seen him play 6 for Cronulla. You've seen him go on at Origin in the middle. So I think wherever Jack plays, he's a football. He's not a positional player. But right now, with the injury and the fatigue in the game, he needs to minimise the contact he has until he gets his body ready to go for 80 minutes in another position.
And that's what he said at the start of the year. I'm going back to the centres just for the time. If he keeps on this trajectory, it'll get to the point where they won't be able to keep him out of the game and they'll need to move him closer to the ball because sometimes, in the centres, you're limited to the amount of opportunities you get. And in those big contests, when you need to get your best players the ball, they might need to have him. If the Dragons keep sort of going along, get themselves into some big games, they need to make sure he's getting plenty of ball.
So far, it's been virtually all positive in terms of these players. And does it change at all, Mary, with David Fifita?
No.
No?
Not a bit.
He's made the most line breaks of any player in the game with 6. So he's devastating. He's learning to play the 80 minutes through both the defence and attack, and that's going to be a challenge for him going forward because someone's such a beast like that uses a lot of energy at times. Once he gets that balance between aggression and commitment for the full 80 minutes for every minute of the 80, he's one of them players that, in 10 years' time, you're going to stand back and what he's done in the game is going to be pretty amazing because he is a beast.
Speaking of beast, now, sadly, injury, but Adam Fanua-Blake, MG, what have you made of that?
Oh, he was on course to be there by the season by a country mile, what he was doing for the Warrior boys. And he was quickly establishing himself as the alpha male of that forward pack. And the injury to him is catastrophic for Nathan Brown because he was just doing everything he had to do for the Warriors, and having him up front, Manly showing how much they missed him. How much they miss him because he's a formidable player. He's a great player. He's got soft hands. He's good on his feet, and he's got a good motor. And the injury played him. So he would have been on track to be the buy of the year, I reckon. Because of the injury, you've got to give him a B.
Yep. All right. Well, all around, some pretty positive numbers there in terms of players who have changed clubs.